Hey friends, Rick with the FAB Breakdown here, and this week we are breaking down the farewell Welcome to Rathe. On December 1st, Legend Story Studios announced that Welcome to Rathe was now out of print, and it joins two other sets that have also gone out of print in previous months, Crucible of War and Arcane Rising. So we're going to break down a little bit about out of print sets. We're also going to talk about the special in-store event to take place at the end of January 2022, the Farewell Welcome to Rathe events. First, let's talk about the out of print. What does that mean, and what does that mean for players of Flesh and Blood? Out of print means that they're no longer going to be printing that product, that specific product. So Welcome to Rathe will no longer be printed. They've hit their maximum print runs that they were going to do. Legend Story Studios did say with Crucible of War that they had a set number of units to be produced, and once they hit that number, the products would be discontinued for printing. Now, does that mean that the product is no longer available? No. That means that Legend Story Studios is no longer printing that product. There is product still available at your local game stores, there's product available online, and there's product available through distribution for local game stores to purchase at this point in time. There is a difference between out of stock and out of print. So what else does out of print mean? How else does it impact players? Well, for people that have been playing for a while, it probably doesn't mean a whole lot, other than your cards that you currently have are probably going to go up in value. So playable rares, commons, and even cards that are specific to certain heroes may see an increase in value over time. This is not uncommon. Many collectible card games have base sets, original sets that go out of print as they print new sets. One thing that's different is with this being a non-rotating format game, and the cards being playable, there could be a demand for cards that are no longer in print, and a couple of years down the road, some of your commons, some of your rares may go up in value, which is a good thing. It means that if you're holding on to your cards, they're gaining value. If you already have a play set of everything from Welcome to Rathe, from Crucible of War, from Arcane Rising, you're really not going to notice it being out of print. However, the con to that is that you have new players coming into the game. We've seen a lot of growth over this last year, that being 2021, with the organized play announcement and people still discovering this game. I was a latecomer to the game myself, picking it up only about 6 months ago. That being said, there's still going to be a secondary market for singles. There's also going to be sealed product still out there, but the cost of entry may be higher for new people getting into the game. For example, when Crucible of War was announced that it was out of print, the prices went from around $80 to $90 a box all the way up to $150 a box, as people were trying to buy up what was left. But again, it wasn't out of stock. It was out of print, and that was a very small supplemental set. We saw similar things happen with Arcane Rising, but we saw it less on the sealed product. Yes, the price went up. Yes, a lot of online marketplaces were sold out. People went to the store the day of the announcement and bought a box or two if it was available from the local game store. But the product is still coming in stock through distribution at this particular point in time, so stores were able to restock. Where did we see it really hit? We saw it hit with the Skull Cap. We saw it hit with Command and Conquer. The rare Majestics and the legendary cards that were in need all saw a price increase in the secondary market as the secondary market adjusted to those cards being out of print. That could be a barrier of entry, but Legend Story Studios did say that they are going to reprint certain cards that are needed. So Everfest is coming out in February. When they announced Arcane Rising going out of print, we all saw the Arcanite Skullcap image that they had in their post, and that image had EVR listed at the bottom. It was then later confirmed that it was actually going to be reprinted in Everfest. So yay, Arcanite Skullcap is being reprinted. I believe that we may also see the Findel Spring Tunic reprinted again for a second reprint or a third time that it's being printed. That is a personal opinion of mine. I also believe that we're going to see Command and Conquer and Light and Strike and maybe Art of War as reprints in the supplemental set coming out in February. But it doesn't mean that the rest of the cards that are in these sets that are no longer going to be printed won't be available. I strongly believe that cards rotating out of print allows Legend Story Studios to reprint those cards when they come out with a new hero of that type. So for example, Dorinthia, the warrior out of Welcome to Rathe, has all the base warrior cards in that set. We have Bolton or Sir Bolton out of Monarch, and we didn't see any reprints of warrior cards. We saw some new warrior cards printed, but we didn't see any reprints. Now with those cards not being available in those original sets, that allows them to reprint them the next time they come out with a warrior if they want to reprint those cards. Maybe it's got new artwork, but it allows them a way to reprint it. It also allows them to do some really cool supplemental product releases, which I hope they do. Something along the lines of like an event deck or a pre-constructed deck that is a little bit more than an intro deck, a little bit better than a blitz deck. Maybe they do something where you get one of each of the Majestics and you get two of the rares, something in that where you're going to end up buying 2 or 3 of these pre-constructed decks to complete the collection, but you're still going to have access to those cards, or you're going to purchase the cards through a singles market in a secondary manner, whether it's online using TCG Player, using Facebook Market Group, or at your local game store, as more stores adopt this single market for Flesh and Blood. I do think that sets being out of print are going to increase the attractiveness of stores stocking cards for sale like they do with Magic singles and Pokemon singles, because now the commons and the rares that are playable are going to have a value that is going to go up based on the demand for the market, as long as we still continue to get new players into the game. So overall, I think that this is a great thing for the game. I think it allows Legend Story Studios to do a lot, and I really think that you're going to see an uptick in stores selling singles and the marketplace value of your cards that you currently have going up. The small con of it being something that could impact somebody's decision to get into the game, because the cost of getting into the character they really wanted to play might be higher than it was when I got into the game 6 months ago, and probably even higher still than when the game first came out. You know, it's going to happen, and it happens with every collectible card game. It's part of the nature of this type of game. So, but again, we want to make it as easy as possible. They've done a great job in announcing when it's out of print, and that doesn't mean that you can't still get it. You're probably going to pay a little bit more for those unlimited booster boxes at this point in time. Until the market starts to run dry, then the prices will probably go up even more still. As soon as stores can't get it through distribution, you're probably going to notice the prices go up. But the single market should still be available if you're looking to get into the game a year from now, recording this video, and Legend Story Studios hasn't reprinted the cards that you want. You're still going to be able to get them through the singles market. All right. Now, they also announced at that same post of Welcome to Rathe being out of print that January they're going to do a special in-store event. And I want to talk about that. So let's break that down. Legend Story Studios is sending Welcome to Rathe off in style. And to be honest, I think this is a phenomenal way, as the set rotates out, to have a little bit of a celebration for that set. I think it's awesome that we're going to have a very unique prize cards for this event, and the fact that it only has a 1 weekend window, making it something that people are going to want to do, is really going to just drive people to stores to play in this event. So what am I talking about? In that post, they talked about the farewell, welcome to Rathe, and they're recommending these special in-store events be capped at 16 players. They have a very specific window for this prize kit to be utilized, which is January 28th, 29th, and 30th of 2022. It is in-store, again, with a cap of 16 players is their recommendation, and you're going to be drafting Welcome to Rathe. Now, their recommendation is to do 2 separate drafts in 2 pods. And what do I mean by that? So you're going to have your first draft is going to have 2 pods of 8. And so there's your 16 players, and you're going to draft each pod, and you're going to play amongst the people in your draft pod for your Swiss records for the first 3 rounds. Then, after they post the standings, they're going to do a second draft, and out of that draft, you're going to have another Welcome to Rathe draft where you have the top 8 people and the bottom 8 people drafting. And then they'll play within those pods for a final standings. They did not announce what other prize cards were going to be included, but they did say that there would be 16 young Welcome to Rathe heroes in cold foil for the first time. And since they're limiting this to 16 players, or suggesting the cap of 16 players for the event rather, I would assume that that is a participation award. So you signed up, you paid, you played. Here is a young cold foil hero. Now that could be at random. That could be you pick based on your finish and your standings. I think that's pretty much going to be up to the store on how they do it. If there are no other prizes in that kit other than that cold foil, and I'm not saying that there needs to be, but if there's not another prize in there, then I would think that the stores would default to your standings will allow pick order. So if you finished first overall, you get your pick of which young hero you want out of the 16 cold foils available. Some stores may want to keep it a little bit more casual, let everybody have a chance and leave it up kind of a random thing where they just pass them out face down and what you get is what you get. I don't know. They weren't very specific in the blurb on Legend Story Studios website about how the prize payout would work or if there were other cards involved. But I'm super excited to get a chance to get a cold foil young hero. Personally, I'm hoping for either Dorinthia or Bravo. I play those 2 in Blitz from time to time. I really enjoy them. But just to be part of something that is so historic, which is the end of the first set being printed and having a farewell event. Again, hats off to Legend Story Studios. I think you've done a phenomenal job in making this a very positive experience. For players like myself who are relatively new to the game, it is awesome that we get a chance to do a competitive-ish draft with Welcome to Rathe. That's not something that's normally offered. Normally, most of your limited events are going to be the newest set. So in this case, Tales of Aria. So the fact that we get to do that right before Everfest comes out, hey, thank you very much for that. And thank you for printing something that is kind of a nice keepsake to say that you participated in during the end of what is this historic era for Flesh and Blood. So that's the breakdown on the farewell, Welcome to Rathe. They did also have a little side thing that they're going to be doing, another part of that celebration. They're going to be giving away 4 sealed display boxes of Welcome to Rathe Alpha from the Legend Story Studios private collection, if you will, from their vault, so to speak. So they're opening up a case and they're going to have 4 boxes and they've divided it up this way. 1 random player in the US or Canada area will receive a Alpha display box sealed. The Europe and UK area will split a box, so 1 person from that area will be selected. Then you have the Oceanic and APAC area that is also going to split, so 1 person out of that area is going to be sent a sealed Alpha box from Welcome to Rathe. And the fourth box is going to be randomly given away to a retail store who has loaded their farewell Welcome to Rathe event by January 20th through the gym portal. All right, final thoughts on this farewell Welcome to Rathe event. Make sure that you register as soon as you can for your store's event. Reason being, if the stores are following the recommendation of 16 player limit on these events, the event will probably sell out quickly. Make sure you get registered as quick as you can so you have your spot in this historic event. All right, well, that about does it for this FAB breakdown video. The FAB breakdown is the new video series that I'm doing for Flesh and Blood, where we break down everything flesh and blood. So from news from Legend Story Studios like this video, special event coverage, deck techs, and more, make sure you tune in to the FAB breakdown. Remember, when it comes to collecting, storing, and displaying your hobbies and collectibles, BCW Supplies, the sponsor of the FAB breakdown, has you covered. Until next time, thank you for watching. Leave a like, share it with a friend, and I'll see you soon.